Altos de Chavón is a recreation of a Mediterranean-style European village located atop the Chavón River in La Romana, Dominican Republic. It is the most popular attraction in the city and hosts a cultural center, an archaeological museum, and an amphitheater. The project was conceived by the Italian architect Roberto Coppa, and the industrialist Charles Bladorn. The project began in 1976 when the construction of a nearby road and bridge crossing the Chavón River had to be blasted through a mountain of stone. Charles Bladorn, chairman of Paramount then-parent Gulf Western, had the idea of using the stones to recreate a 16th-century-style Mediterranean village, similar to some of the architecture found in the historic center of Santo Domingo. Construction was completed in the early 1980s. Charles Bladorn's daughter, Dominique Bladorn, is the current president of the Altos de Chavón Cultural Center Foundation. Narrow, cobble-covered alleyways lined with lanterns and shuttered limestone walls yield several good Mediterranean-style restaurants, a number of quaint shops featuring the diverse craftwork of local artisans, and 3 galleries exhibiting the talents of students from the on-site design school, La Escuela de Diseño, an affiliate of Parsons School of Design in New York City. Notable attendees of the Altos de Chavón Design School have included Lisa Thon and Mia Lourdes Tavares Lopez. Adding authenticity to the project is the charming St. Stanislaus Church, Iglesia San Stanislao de Cracovia in Spanish, with its plaza and sparkling fountain that is a popular wedding venue. The Church of St. Stanislaus was named after the patron saint of Poland in tribute to Pope John Paul II, who visited Santo Domingo in 1979 and left some of the saint's ashes behind. It was in this church that Louis Alphonse, Duke of Anjou married Venezuelan heiress Maria Margarita de Vargas y Santa Ella on November 6, 2004. A Roman-styled 5,000-seat amphitheater hosts 20th-century musical acts, the Pet Shop Boys, Frank Sinatra, and Julio Iglesias to name a few, while Genesis nightclub provides a popular dance venue for guests from the Casa de Campo resort nearby. The Regional Museum of Archaeology, El Museo Arqueológico Regional, contains a collection of pre-Columbian Indian artifacts unearthed in the surrounding area. Altos de Chavón overlooks Rio Chavón and the Die-4 golf course of Casa de Campo, both built by former Gulf Western chairman Charles Bladorn.
Bayahibe is a town in the Dominican Republic, located about 10 miles, 16 kilometers, east of La Romana on the shore of the Caribbean Sea. Founded as a fishing village in 1874 by one Brito and his family, who came from Puerto Rico, the town is now a tourist destination. Bayahibe Beach, a public beach, is located less than a mile from the town center, and Dominica's Beach is in about 3 miles distance. Bayahibe serves as an embarkation point for boat trips to Sauna Island, a thinly inhabited island with extensive beaches located in a national park. In the vicinity of Bayahibe and Dominica's Beach, numerous large resorts are located. Scuba diving is probably the most common tourist attraction in Bayahibe, Bayahibe being the best location for scuba in the Dominican Republic. There are numerous scuba diving shops scattered around the main beach that take scuba divers to the many dive sites around the area. There are over 20 official dive sites located near Bayahibe and all are accessible from the drive boats in the area. There are 3 shipwrecks in the area including the Atlantic Princess, St. George, and Coco. Bayahibe benefits from the crystal clear, calm waters of the Caribbean Sea which makes it perfect for many water sports including snorkeling and stand-up paddleboarding. Deep-sea fishing is another popular activity. In Bayahibe grows a small group of plants that are extremely important to the biological characteristics of this area, in particular, the Perscaea quisquiana. This plant species is endemic to Bayahibe. It is known for its beautiful flowers. The popular name by which this pink flower is known is Bayahibe rose.
La Romana is the 7th largest city in the Dominican Republic. The city is capital of the southeastern province of La Romana, opposite Catalina Island. The modern La Romana International Airport was opened in 1999. The city is a hub for a growing tourist industry with several nearby local resort spots, such as the beachfront Bayahibe, Dominican, Casa de Campo, and the growing number of golf resorts that surround the area. The city of La Romana was founded in 1897 as an oil town. After 1917, with the construction of a large sugar mill, the economy quickly shifted to sugar production. The commissioning of the sugar mill coincided with the rise in sugar prices worldwide, prompting the sugar industry to welcome workers from other parts of the country. Many poor families from the Dominican countryside moved to La Romana in search of a better life. In early 1960, Gulf and Western Industries Incorporated purchased the sugar mill and started to invest in the livestock industry, which was cemented in the province. Meanwhile, $20 million were invested to rebuild La Romana and build schools, clinics, housing and other infrastructure for workers. During the mid-1970s, the American conglomerate began selling its Dominican assets, and at the same time built what is now one of the largest exclusive tourist resorts in the Dominican Republic, Casa de Campo. Casa de Campo Resort Complex is the flagship of the La Romana all-inclusive resorts area. Built in 1975 by Gulf Western to be the premier destination in the Caribbean, it has lived up to the hype. In 1984, Casa de Campo was purchased by the Central Romana Corporation, which is co-owned by the Fengel brothers. Altos de Chavón is a replica of a 16th-century Mediterranean village located just minutes from La Romana. Casa de Campo International Tourist Port, Muelle Turístico Internacional Casa de Campo, located on the west bank of La Romana River or Rio Dulce, has been utilized primarily for the docking of commercial ships, primarily for the transport of sugar and molasses. Upon exceeding the capacity of its port, the Central Romana Corporation built its new tourism-focused port on the east side of the river. The platform on the western bank was renovated, and the river channel was dredged to a depth of 10.50 meters.
Las Terrenas is a town on the northeast coast of the Dominican Republic, located in the province of Samana. It is known for its scenic landscapes, white sand beaches and clear waters. Tourism in this region is constantly growing due to investments in tourist infrastructure such as hotels, clubs, restaurants and shopping centers such as Puerto Plata. Las Terrenas was founded in 1946. When then-President Rafael Leonidas Trujillo ordered the rural inhabitants of Santo Domingo to resettle in the town as farmers and fishermen. Las Terrenas was then a small fishing village isolated from the rest of the country. Over the years, the village's old fishermen's cabins have been slowly transformed into bars, restaurants and shops. Samana was a slave trade port for the British in the early 17th century. Today, inhabitants are a combination of Taino, Spanish, West Indian and African slaves. The main economic activities of the town are tourism, commerce and fishing. In 1977, Adelphia Dane Bowen Jr. of Texas became the first foreigner to build a private home in Las Terrenas. He was economic officer at the U.S. Embassy in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic at the time. Las Terrenas is popular with foreigners and people from the capital, Santo Domingo. The completion of a new highway in 2012 between Santo Domingo and Santa Barbara de Samana has enabled easier access, and the drive takes 2 hours. The new Samana El Cati International Airport is open for international flights, mainly from Europe and Canada. Las Terrenas developed a new aqueduct in 2013. In March 2012, the town installed a new fiber optic internet, TV, telephone system.
The Los Haitises National Park is a national park located on the remote northeast coast of the Dominican Republic that was established in 1976. It consists of a limestone karst plateau with conical hills, sinkholes and caverns, and there is a large area of mangrove forest on the coast. Other parts of the park are clad in subtropical humid forest, and the area has an annual precipitation of about 2,000 millimeters. The park contains a number of different habitats and consequently has a great diversity of mammals and birds, including some rare species endemic to the island. Some of the caverns contain pictograms and petroglyphs. The park has become a popular ecotourism destination, but the number of tourists allowed to visit is limited. The area was formed during the Miocene epoch of the Neogene period. Geomorphologically, it is a platform karst with dense clusters of conical hills of nearly uniform height, 200 to 300 meters, in between which there are many sinkholes. The maximum dimensions of this platform karst block are 82 kilometers east to west by 26 kilometers north to south. The hills of the interior have the same origin as the islets of the Samana Bay. There is a multitude of caverns. The Los Haitises has two holdridge life zones, humid subtropical forest and very humid subtropical forest. Broadleaf species in the park include muskwood, cigar box cedar, ceiba, West Indian mahogany, kupi, and grandleaf sea grape. There are many species of orchids. The Los Haitises contains the greatest abundance of Caribbean mangrove, in which species like red mangrove and white mangrove predominate. The fauna of Los Haitises is of great variety, and due to the park's diversity of physical geographic zones, it has the greatest diversity of fauna among the protected natural areas in the country. Being a coastal and marine park, it contains a large variety of birds, including most of the species endemic to the country. These include the brown pelican or alcatraz, magnificent frigate bird, Hispaniolan Amazon, barn owl, and Stygian owl. Some of the bird species found in Los Haitises are not found elsewhere within the Dominican Republic. The Los Haitises National Park is a protected virgin forest with little road access. There is a multitude of caverns created by water erosion. Native Americans adorn these caverns with pictographs and petroglyphs. The culture or cultures which created these artworks remain unidentified, some of them possibly predating the Taínos.
The National Palace is a building in Santo Domingo that houses the offices of the executive branch, presidency and vice presidency, of the Dominican Republic. Designed in a restrained neoclassical style by Italian architect Guido d'Alessandro at the behest of Rafael Trujillo, construction started on February 27, 1944, the centenary of Dominican independence, and was inaugurated on August 16, 1947. Occupying an area of 18,000 square meters and luxuriously appointed throughout, the National Palace is considered one of the most beautiful buildings built in the Dominican Republic. The building stands on the grounds of the former presidential mansion, built during the United States military occupation of 1916 to 1924. While the president's office is located within the palace, the Palacio Nacional is not an executive residence as the president does not live there. There is no designated executive residence in Santo Domingo. The building comprises 3 stories. Building services are located at ground level. The main floor includes the ceremonial vestibule, the presidential and vice presidential offices, and the cabinet meeting room. The 3rd story houses the main reception rooms, the hall of the ambassadors, the hall of the caryatids, the green room, the mahogany room, and the president's private quarters. The dome, which rests on a window drum, is 34 meters high, and has a diameter of 18 meters. Inside, 18 columns sustain the dome. Most of the marble used throughout the building is Dominican, and was extracted from quarries in Samana and Caballero. The Palacio Nacional complex also includes the presidential chapel of San Rafael Archangel, carried out in the same architectural style as the palace.
Puerto Plata is the 9th largest city in the Dominican Republic, and capital of the province of Puerto Plata. The city serves as one of the most important trading ports in the country. The fortification Fortaleza San Felipe, which was built in the 16th century and served as a prison under Rafael Trujillo's dictatorship, lies close to the port of Puerto Plata. The Ambern Museum is also a well-known attraction in this city. La Isabela, a settlement built by Christopher Columbus, is located near Puerto Plata. The city is famous for tourist centers such as Playa Dorada and Costa Dorada, located to the east of San Felipe of Puerto Plata. In 2015, Carnival Cruise Line opened a $85 million cruise port called Amber Cove. Amber Cove is the featured destination of the Fathom Cruise Line. The fort is the main colonial monument of the city of Puerto Plata, since around it the city developed most of its history. In 1540, Alvaro Caballero went to the court to request that a fortress be constructed in Puerto Plata. In 1549 the archbishop and governing Funmer, he was entrusted with its construction, but it was still not done even in 1560, when the Audiencia Real ordered it commence under the charge of the French-born Judge Juana Cagoin to initiate its work. This work was finished in the year 1577. The purpose was to protect the city against the incursions of bandits, of the corsairs and French and English pirates that continuously terrified inhabitants of Puerto Plata. Its name is in honor of Felipe II, in whose reign its construction was finished. In 1980 it was declared a national monument. Ocean World is an adventure park located amidst the reefs of the beach of Cofresi, boasting the largest man-made dolphin habitat in the world. The park is a main tourist attraction, and is the largest and most complete park of its kind in the Caribbean. The investment on this project is valued at more than $45 million. It includes a yacht marina, the permanent residence of some 19 dolphins, beaches and forests, as well as fish bowls, picturesque and exotic birds, Malayan tigers, and a casino, which was recently inaugurated. Ocean World is located within a tourist complex on the north coast of the Dominican Republic.
Punta Cana is a resort town within the Punta Cana Bávaro Barranquilla municipal district, in the municipality of Haitises, in La Altagracia province, the easternmost province of the Dominican Republic. The area has beaches and balnearios which face both the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, and it has been a popular tourist destination. The Punta Cana area has an estimated population of 50,000, with an annual growth rate of 6%. To the north, it borders the village and beach of Cabeza de Toro, and the Bávaro and El Cortcito beaches. The nearest city, the 500-year-old Haitises, is 45 kilometers away, which takes about an hour to reach by car. European entrepreneurs, particularly Spanish hotel chains, own all but two of the over 50 mega resorts at the Punta Cana tourism destination. The province's 100-kilometer coastline tends to be mildly windy. The ocean waters are mainly shallows, with several natural marine pools in which visitors can bathe without danger. From north to south, the main beaches are Uvero Alto, Macao, Arena Gorda, Bávaro, El Cortcito, Los Corrales and Cabeza de Toro, all north of the Cape, and Cabo Engano, Punta Cana and Juanillo south of the Cape. Punta Cana is a popular tourist destination. The area is a key contributor to the tourism industry in the Dominican Republic. As a beach destination, many of the popular excursions in Punta Cana are near the water. These activities include snorkeling, windsurfing, banana boat rides, speedboats, scuba diving, catamaran cruises, party boats, deep-sea fishing, as well as swimming with dolphins and sharks and stingrays snorkeling. Visitors that prefer to see more of the Dominican countryside, there are land-based excursions such as safari tours, horseback riding and dune buggy. Visiting the Dominican Republic's smaller Caribbean island of Sona and Catalina is a day trip from Punta Cana. The capital city Santo Domingo, and Los Haitises National Park, Samana, are within a couple of hours. The Basilica Catholic Monument, built in 1962 and designed by two French architects, is in nearby Haiti, the 500-year-old capital of the province.
The Cathedral of Santa Maria la Mina in the colonial zone of Santo Domingo is dedicated to Saint Mary of the Incarnation. It is the oldest cathedral in the Americas, begun in 1512 and completed in 1540. It is the cathedral of the Archbishop of Santo Domingo, who has the honorary title of Primate of the Americas, because Santo Domingo was the first Catholic diocese established in the New World. The cathedral is fronted with a golden-tinted coral limestone facade. The church combines elements of both Gothic and Baroque with some lavish Plateresque styles, as exemplified by the high altar chiseled out of silver. There is also a treasury which has an excellent art collection of ancient wood carvings, furnishings, funerary monuments, silver, and jewelry. The cathedral was commissioned by Pope Julius II in 1504, and its construction began in 1512 under the leadership of Bishop Fray Garcia Padilla. By 1523, the construction achieved continuous progress until its consecration in 1541. On February 12, 1546, at the request of Emperor Charles V, Pope Paul III granted the status of Metropolitan Cathedral and Primate of the Americas. Francis Drake, when he captured the city in 1586, used the cathedral as his headquarters and saved it from destruction. It was also the headquarters of the Archdiocese of Santo Domingo, which bore the aforementioned title of Primate. In 1920, Pope Benedict XV designated the cathedral a minor basilica in his Inter-Americae. The first noticeable feature of the structure are the solid limestone walls and 3 doors, 2 of which are Gothic, and the third main door, which is Plateresque. There are 12 side chapels, 3 aisles and a nave. The roof of the nave is pitched, while the aisles have cross-vaulted ceilings. The length of the basilica is 54 meters, the width of each of the 3 aisles is 23 meters, the height to the vaulted ceilings is 16 meters, and the total area is 3,000 square meters. All of the side chapels were not included in the original footprint of the building, rather they were appended with time. The cathedral has a treasury containing retablos, paintings, old woodwork, furniture, sculptures and tombstones. There are pieces that were involved with the funeral proceedings of several colonial archbishops.
Sosúa is a resort town in the Puerto Plata province of the Dominican Republic. Located approximately 4 miles from the Gregorio Luperón International Airport in San Felipe de Puerto Plata, the town is accessed primarily by Camino Cinco, or Highway 5, which runs much of the length of the country's north coastline. The town is divided into 3 sectors: El Beatty, which is the main tourist section and on the east side of the main beach, Los Tramicos, on the west end of the beach, and past that, heading north toward the airport, is Sosúa Bajo. At the 1938 Evian Conference, Rafael Trujillo offered to accept up to 100,000 Jewish refugees. About 800 German and Austrian Jewish refugees received visas issued by the Dominican government between 1940 and 1945 and settled in Sosúa. The government provided them with land and resources with which they created a dairy and cheese factory, named Productos Sosúa, still in existence today. Descendants of the original settlers still live in Sosúa, where they maintain a synagogue and a museum. The town was little known until tourism took off in the island in the mid-1980s. Sosúa Bajo, which translates roughly to Lower Sosúa, is located on the western side of Sosúa in a valley nearby a river that flows into Sosúa Bay. Mainly a rural area of Sosúa, Sosúa Bajo houses many of the workers who commute to the El Beatty area, nearby Cabaret Bay and Playa Dorada. The barrio of Los Tramicos is situated between El Beatty and Bajo, and is a densely populated urban area known for its nightlife, dancing, and bar scene. In 1988, actor George Rose was murdered here by his adopted son and the son's uncle. Sosúa Bay attracts many water sports enthusiasts, including snorkelers and divers, because of its sheltered, calm waters, diverse species of fish and intricate reef structures. In the winter, whale watching is also a popular tourist activity in Sosúa Bay. Recently, naturally occurring beach nourishment has created a new beach just north of Sosúa Bay, depositing sand where there were previously only sheer rock cliffs. The beach is called Playa Alicia. There are several other beaches: Sosúa Beach, which is a crescent-shaped bay protected by coral formations. Sosúa's other beaches are Waterfront, Paradise Beach, Playa Imbert and Playa Chiquita. Waterfront Beach is just 14 to 15 years old, created after a storm around 2002.